Greetings, friends. It's your buddy boy, Craig Ballard, here with you. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out this, my video audition for Gillette Drafted Season 5 on the theScore television network. Drafted, a show that I've auditioned for in the past, actually done the live audition. I'm here in Mississauga, Ontario, so the live audition means making the very fun trip down to the Eaton Centre in Toronto. And while I can tell you that the live auditions are a blast, did not, however, lead to the follow-up communication from the powers that be to let me know that they wanted to see my Gillette Drafted journey continue. So I thought for this year, let's switch it up a little bit, right? I mean, why not? Absolutely. So hence the video submission this time around. When you go in person, once they get the camera on you, I ask you to do a quick blurb about yourself, then a quick 2 or 3 minute take on a sport topic of your choice, dealer's choice. So that's the format I'll follow here for the video. Quick blurb about myself again, Craig Ballard. What you're looking at here, folks, not just the bald wonder, you're looking at a knowledgeable sports fan, a passionate sports fan, and you're looking at somebody who's committed to bringing you interesting and entertaining sports interviews and sports segments. I have a long history of doing that in various roles of host and co-host of various different sports shows, doing it now even in my role as co-producer and co-host of a weekly internet radio sports show. Been thrilled with the guests that we've been getting for that show, and been thrilled with the interactions I've been able to have on the various social media avenues with the listeners as well, and with the readers, with my readership. And I say readership because I also currently write NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball for Rant Sports. These are the sort of things that are my absolute pleasure in life, and these are the sort of things that I bring to the table. As far as Gillette is concerned, I mean, I am a big fan of Gillette products. All of this manscaping, all of this brought to you by Gillette products. And most importantly, and my bald is beautiful brothers out there are going to know exactly where I'm going with this. You can imagine how often I have to shave my head. That's Gillette products getting that done every time. The amount of shaving that I'm doing on a daily basis, I'm requiring a product that has quality, and I'm requiring a product that has consistency. That is Gillette. My hat is way off to their products and to that company. I'd be thrilled to be associated with something that good. Now, I'm a big Major League Baseball fan, so it rather upsets me that the word joke can be used at this point now when you're talking about Major League Baseball playoffs. This new one-game, one-and-done wildcard playoff implemented by our boy Bud Selig, oh boy, absolutely redonkulous. I don't understand it at all. I don't like it at all. We're talking about Major League Baseball here, folks. You're talking about a 162-game grind over a grueling 6-month schedule, and during that time, the teams that have not just survived, but the teams that have thrived and earned their way into the playoffs. These are teams that have used, just on pitching alone, upwards of double-digit different starting pitchers, and you've needed a lot of different contributions throughout the season for that grind. Now you're talking about a playoff where you need one guy to give you one good game on one day. And that's supposed to show the fans that that means that team was the better team and is worthy of advancing. I don't think so. I don't like it at all. I don't get it at all. I mean, does the NHL bring out a couple of teams and whoever can score on all the spots on the shooter, tutor first, they're in the playoffs? Of course not. It's redonkulous. I mean, does the NBA trot out a pair of teams to play a game of horse or a quick game to 21 to determine who advances in the playoffs? Of course not. Is there a punt, pass, and kick competition in the NFL to deem who's worthy of advancing in the playoffs? Hey, Bud Selig, it's the playoffs. It's supposed to be big. It's supposed to be important. It's supposed to be legit. Bottom line, a one-game playoff in baseball is none of those things. I went back and looked at the World Series champions of the 2000s, and folks, 5 of them, 5 champions of the World Series in the 2000s, lost their first game. If any of them had been subjected to this ridiculous one-and-done Bud Selig creation, who knows if they would have been able to go on to become World Series champions. Of those 5, that includes the last 2, 2011 St. Louis Cardinals, 2012 San Francisco Giants, both teams losing their first game. But guess what? Both teams able to right the ship, make the game-to-game adjustments, make the in-series adjustments, which playoff series are all about, and they were able to go on to not only legitimate playoff runs, but legitimate World Series runs. And this one-and-done, jam-done game doesn't allow for any of that, doesn't allow for any of those adjustments. Completely ridiculous. I mentioned San Francisco last year. It was implemented last year, and the Atlanta Braves were the losers in the National League to the St. Louis Cardinals. And think about that for a moment now. Think about that Atlanta Brave fan base. That's a fan base that knows and understands what a legitimate playoff experience is all about. Now, I mean, we would have to acknowledge most of their playoff experiences did not end the way they had hoped. Fine, we would acknowledge that, yes. But still, nonetheless, this is a fan base that knows and understands what a legitimate playoff experience is about. Ask a Braves fan if they felt like 2012 was a playoff team, if they felt like 2012 was a playoff experience, and the inevitable answer is going to be no, absolutely not. You look at the one-and-done game was played on a Wednesday, then they started the next series on a Sunday. So you've got those 4 days. You would only need to carve out one extra day somewhere throughout the schedule, or start that next round 1 day later. You only need to carve out one extra day to create a scenario where you could have a best 2 out of 3. Now, that's still a short series, but it's significantly preferable to the very, very underwhelming one-game, one-and-done scenario. That's my take on the Major League Baseball new playoff format. As you can see, I wasn't a fan. I hope you were a fan of what you saw. I started the segment by thanking you for tuning in. I want to end the segment by thanking you for tuning in. For Gillette Drafted Season 5 on theScore, your buddy boy Craig Ballard, and I hope I see you again real soon.